Okay, the next few tasks is dealing with reasoning skills. I'm going to work one of each task to help you get started. Okay, let's start with task 6, smartphones. Suppose P and Q represent the price in dollars of a 64 gigabyte and a 32 gigabyte smartphone respectively, where P is greater than Q, which that makes sense. If you purchase a phone with more memory, you're going to pay more for it than one with less memory. So that's where P is greater than Q. So P represents the price of a 64 gig. Q represents the price of the 32 gig. Interpret each of these expressions in terms of money and smartphones. Then, if possible, determine which of the expressions in each pair is larger. Okay, well, first let's interpret each of the expressions. P plus Q. P plus Q would be, when you interpret that, price of a 64 gig plus the price of a 32 gigabyte. Okay, we interpreted the first expression. The second expression, 2Q, means twice or 2 times the price of a 32 gig. Okay, using reasoning, we can determine which one of these would be larger. The problem already told us that the price of a 64 gig is greater than the price of a 32 gig. So when you look at the first expression, the price of a 64 gig phone plus the price of a 32 gig phone is definitely going to be larger than if you bought just 2 of the 32 gig phone, because you're already paying for, in the first one, the 64 gig, which is higher, plus the price of the 32 gig. And the other one is just 2 times the smaller memory phone, which could never total what the larger phone plus the smaller phone would be. So that's using reasoning. You also could plug in numbers if it helps you. For instance, 64 gig phone, let's say it's $600 and a 32 gig is $400. So in that case, 600 plus 400 would be 1,000 in the first scenario, and in the second one, 2 times 400 would be 800. So $1,000 is definitely greater than $800. So we would determine that P plus Q is your larger of the 2 expressions. Now, when you finish working these, you can record your voice explaining it like I did, or if you wanted to write down the explanation and how you arrived at which one is larger. But I definitely want to see how you've interpreted each expression and which one is larger and why it's larger. Okay, let's continue on the